center stage.
I have center stage. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm very honored and happy that Coach Ruben is here. Thank you for being our presenter this afternoon. My name is Bobby Waters. I am the chairperson of African Americans for Balanced Health. And our seminar today will be on 5 Secrets of Living a Thriving, Healthy, Happy Life by Ruben Guzman.
Thank you. All right. It's a joy to be able to speak with all of you today. And a little bit about me, something that I don't usually share. So I grew up in Southeast Los Angeles.
That's my one.
And it was an amazing experience to grow up there. It really was. So I grew up, my parents still live in the same house that I grew up in. They've been in the same house for 60 years in Bell, California. And so it was just an amazing experience to grow up there. And my indoctrination into cultural diversity was on the basketball court. So my introduction to cultural diversity was on the basketball court. Okay, so I've been a basketball player ever since, and it's been wonderful. It's just been wonderful. So many of my friends are wonderful basketball players. Some played in the NBA. And I've been, Lorenzo Romar was one of my good friends. He played on my first men's team. Bob Sims ended up at Harvard University. And I mean, I have so many friends that I got to really associate with and spend great time with. So it was wonderful. So a little bit about me. What happened was I got my, so MPH does not stand for the speed that I drive my car. Okay. So it stands for Masters in Public Health. I got that degree from UCLA back in 1988. So one of the things that happened for me was that I was pursuing how to actually live a thriving, healthy, happy life. And in my undergraduate studies at Cal Lutheran University, I was pursuing going to medical school, and then I realized I wanted to go to medical school, but I wasn't ready yet because I was one of those people who worked their way through college. Okay, I worked my way 30, 40 hours a week. I worked sometimes 4 or 5 jobs. So I worked. So at that point I realized, okay, I'm just going to work in the hospital and I'm going to study. So that's what I did. And I became a pathologist assistant after about 6 months. I got promoted quickly. So I did autopsies.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
I got to see the inside of what happens when people die from chronic disease.
Wow.
They had those complications. By the way, Jetta, I know you're eating right now, but I got, one of my distinct duties was to take the entire intestinal tract of every single person, hoist it out of their body cavity into a big deep wash basin, and take my surgical scissors and split it open and wash it out by hand.
Fantastic.
It's 22 to 27 feet long.
Wow.
That's a lot of you know what.
Right, right.
I got up close and personal with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I got to see what the inside looks like when people die from cancer, when they die from diabetes, when they die from heart disease. And you know what was interesting? The intestinal tract of every single person who dies from complications of chronic disease, it all looked the same.
Whoa.
It all looked the same, and it wasn't pretty. One autopsy changed everything for me. It was a woman in her mid-70s who had come to the hospital with shortness of breath. She was in her mid-70s and passed away within a couple of hours. They barely had time to draw her blood. The next day, Dr. Glover and I had to do the autopsy in order to determine the cause of death. As we started to do the autopsy, Dr. Glover told me, Ruben, take careful note. We may never see this again. Now, mind you, he had been a pathologist at that point for nearly 20 years and a general surgeon before that for 7 years. He was absolutely correct. Here was a woman with internal organs as pristine and flawless as a newborn. Extraordinary. Careful dissection revealed that she had an undiagnosed ventral septal defect, which is a hole between the chambers of the heart. Dr. Glover said most people with that defect would rarely live past their 20s.
Wow.
She beat the odds by over 50 years. How many of you would like to beat the odds by over 50 years?
Yeah.
And living a healthy life, right? A healthy life for 50 years, a healthy extra 50 years, right?
Yeah.
So it was extraordinary. So Dr. Glover said, I need to meet with the family, I need to know more. So I got to sit in on that meeting. He shared what he had discovered, but then he asked a powerful question. How did she live?
Yeah.
Isn't that a great question?
Yes.
So the family shared that she was a Seventh-day Adventist who followed the rules from the Bible. No meat, no dairy, no eggs, no refined sugar, no alcohol, no processed foods, had a vegetable garden in her backyard, walked 5 miles a day every day for over 40 years that they knew about, was a happy disposition, never complained about anything, was kind, compassionate, and loving. The evidence was irrefutable. It absolutely was. And that led to a series of discussions between Dr. Glover and me about the connection between lifestyle and longevity. So I started doing the research. My research took me into medical school. Then I went off to UCLA and got my master's in public health. And I realized I did not want to practice medicine and prescribing and pushing pills. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to promote health and prevent disease. So I started studying lifestyle medicine on my own. I was ahead of my time. There was nothing called lifestyle medicine back then. In 2016, I discovered that there is now a new branch of the American Medical Association. So raise your hands if before today you've never heard of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. Before today you've never heard of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. I'm an ambassador. So here's the deal. This is an evidence-based approach. No weird stuff. No airy-fairy. It's an evidence-based approach to prevent, reverse, and treat chronic disease, teaching people how to change their lifestyle behaviors in these areas: nutrition, physical activity, emotional well-being, alcohol, tobacco reduction, healthy relationships, hydration, and sleep, and much more. And here's what we find, based on the research, that we can help people to prevent, reverse, and treat chronic disease, and we do a better job than the medications do. And more doctors are joining the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. It's the fastest growing branch of the American Medical Association. We've got about 36 different residency programs that include lifestyle medicine. We've got 60 medical schools now that are including lifestyle medicine. We've got about 600 universities that have lifestyle medicine interest groups. So it's awesome. So I found out about this, went to my conference, and in October of 2018, I became one of the first board-certified lifestyle medicine professionals in the entire world. I'm so proud of this. So it's very, very exciting. I'm also a member of the Institute of Coaching out of Harvard as well, and I get to live into this quote that Thomas Edison said over 100 years ago, that the doctor of the future will give no medicine.
Wow.
No medicine, but will instruct his patient in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. And doesn't that make sense?
Wow.
It does. It does. And it's amazing because the word doctor, one of the roots of the word doctor, woo, I caught it just in time, is teacher. One of the meanings of the word doctor is teacher. So I get to teach. That's what I love to do. I love teaching people about how to live a thriving, healthy, happy life. In addition, I want you to also know that I have absolutely zero, zilch, no conflicts of interest whatsoever, no products, no supplements, no scams, no schemes. The reason I do these seminars And I do them out in the community for free all the time. And the reason I do them for free is 2 reasons. 1, I am passionate about eliminating chronic disease from the face of the planet. Okay? That's a tall order. And I can't do it alone. Okay? That's what I'm passionate about. I'm committed to. That's what I give my life to. Second, as an adult, I'm passionate about empowering my children, my future grandchildren, my future great-grandchildren to have a better world to live in than I found it in. That's an important part for any of us as adults. We've got to leave the world in better condition for our future generations. Okay? They're counting on us. So we got to do that. So I believe that Virgil was correct when he said this over 2,000 years ago, that the greatest wealth that any of us can have is our wealth. So the greatest wealth that any of us can have is our health. Yes.
Right.
That's how it works. I was testing you. The problem is so many people focus on wealth and money. As the Dalai Lama said, what surprised him most about humanity is most people focus on making money and sacrifice their health at the same time. That's the problem. So here's what we're going to cover. I'm going to cover a lot of information for you today. We're going to talk about, I always talk about the context for health, the framework for understanding how our bodies can be healthy. I'm going to talk about the 5 secrets, the 5 major influences that affect everything, and I mean everything in your life. And you have total control over these 5. We're going to talk about actions that you can take to powerfully influence your health, prosperity, and your relationships. How many of you would like to have that? Okay, all right, very good. Okay, and then the surprising impact of our food choices. Most people have no clue, but we are going to dive into that. And then how to live a happier life, a healthier and happier life. We want to do that. And then I'll finally answer the question, how can you make the rest of your life the best of your life? How many of you would like to be able to do that? Right?
Yes.
Make sense? Okay, good. All right, so let's get started. Just to also let you know, I don't consider myself to be an all-knowing expert about anything. I'm a student, always have been, always will be.
Right.
Okay? That's me. I have many, many teachers, lots of teachers. And one of my teachers, he wanted to be here today, but he couldn't come. So he asked me if I could try to channel his spirit in. He has some important words of wisdom to impart to you. So let's see if I can bring him in. You must unlearn what you have learned. Thank you, Yoda. Thank you. Yoda. Did you get the message?
I got the message.
Okay, good. All right.
I love the impression.
All right, so let's start with the context, the framework for health. And it starts with a quote that Dr. Kalitsky said one day in a comparative anatomy and physiology class. He said, remember this, that all of life is either in one of 2 states at any given moment. Either it is surviving or it is thriving, and that's all there is. And he said it like that. And it kind of shocked me when he said that. I raised my hand, of course, right? I raised my hand. I said, Dr. Kalitsky, you're just saying it's one or the other? He said, Ruben, that's exactly what I just said, isn't it? Oh. And I raised my hand again. I said, Dr. Kalitsky, I'm thinking there's got to be a bell-shaped distribution curve or some kind of a spectrum here. He says, no. It's one or the other.
Wow.
Okay, I raised my hand again. I'm still not getting it. He said, sit with it, Ruben, you'll figure it out. I hated when he did that to me, and he did it often. So I sat with it for 3 years. 3 years! That's a long time to sit with not knowing, right? So 3 years later, I'm in my first year of medical school, taking a class called embryology. Anybody here take the class embryology? Anybody? All right, so embryology is the study of the embryonic period of human development. So from the moment of conception to the point where everything is there, now it just gets bigger. Okay, then we call it a fetus. How many mothers do we have in here? How many mothers? Okay, wonderful. So you remember your first trimester problem. right? Most mothers do. All right, so the thing is, it's very fascinating. It's the most miraculous thing when you study this, because quite frankly, every single one of us is absolutely a miracle. And when you study this, you realize just how miraculous our lives are, because one little change, everything could be different. Early on in our lives, we all look like this, a ball of cells, and you can't tell the cells apart. It doesn't look like a human being, but that is a human being. Okay? The ball of cells gets bigger and eventually starts to fold inward on itself, and it starts to form a tube of cells. This tube of cells will become the first organ system of the body to become distinguishable and operational. What do you think this tube will become? Any guesses? The what?
Mind.
The mind.
The stomach.
The stomach.
Brainstem.
The brainstem. Okay, so there's some partial correct. So this tube will become what we call the neural tube. The neural tube, and what it gives rise to is what we call the limbic brain, which is the central portion of the brain. So it's more than just the brainstem. All right, so it's the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, the amygdala, all of those central features of the brain, and it's connected via the brainstem to the entire spinal cord. Now, here's what's important to understand. This is the electrical system of the body. Just like a house. You got to have the electrical system. How many of you have ever done any construction work? All right. So you put the wiring in before or after the sheetrock? No, the wiring goes in before. It's ugly. It's ugly if you do it afterwards. So you want to make sure you get the wiring in early. So it's no different for us as human beings. Now, what the professor said, this is the electrical system, and just like any basic electrical system, it's got two currents, negative, positive. You got a negative current, positive current. Human beings have the same thing. Positive current is called the parasympathetic branch of the central nervous system. It's the positive current. Now, when it is on, it's going to affect every organ system in the body and every cell in the body all at the same time. And it affects it in a particular way. Every organ system, every cell is going to operate a particular way. Now, the negative current is the sympathetic branch of the central nervous system. When it is on, it's going to affect every organ system, every cell in the body. Here's the important thing to get. In the opposite way. In the opposite way. So, here's what the professor said. Once this system becomes operationalized, it becomes turned on, we are either operating in the sympathetic state or the parasympathetic state at any given moment. We can go back and forth between the two, but we only operate in one or the other. I got the or from Dr. Kalitsky. We are either surviving in the sympathetic state or we are thriving in the parasympathetic state, and that's all there is.
Wow.
Now, if you get this above everything else that I'm going to talk about, this will set you up for a thriving, healthy, happy life. You're either in the sympathetic state or the parasympathetic state. Now, here's the problem. Far too many of us are in the sympathetic state far too much. So when we're in the sympathetic state, our body is triggered to be there for any kind of stress. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual stresses can all cause us to be in the sympathetic state. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And then we're operating in a primal way, not in a rational way. Very primal. How many of you know that when you get upset, you don't think straight? How many of you know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liars, raise your hands. Okay. So fight, flight, freeze, or fold, but even as subtle as a perceived threat. Oh no, I got to deal with George again today. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, when will it end? Right? That's enough. We're in the sympathetic state. What we show in the literature is this: the common thread of all chronic disease is being in the state of dis-ease far too much. We're not designed to be in this state all the time, and too many people are in this state far too much. How many of you can see now that you have been in the sympathetic state far too much in your life? Okay? Yeah. So what lifestyle medicine is about shifting that. We need to understand what keeps us in the sympathetic state. Dr. Stephen Loam is a friend of mine. He's a cardiologist and a lifestyle medicine physician in Chicago. He says there are 5 major factors that keep Americans sick. Number 1 is the central nervous system state. Being in the sympathetic state, we seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. That's what we do. We've had an exhausting day at work. We find the couch, turn on the TV, and grab the beer. All right, that's what we're doing. That's what we do. Now, the second factor is our family behaviors. Now, here's the deal. Most of us believe erroneously that, oh, diabetes runs in my family, therefore I'm doomed to get it. Oh, cancer runs in my family, therefore I'm doomed to get it. Oh, heart disease runs in my family, I'm doomed to get it. False, 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 false. What runs in your family, what's that?
Right.
So what runs in your family are family behaviors. Pork chops run in your family, okay? The ham runs in your family. All those things, those family behaviors. Now, another factor that keeps us sick is the food industry. Okay, do you think Popeyes and Wendy's want your health as their #1 priority? Think again. All right? And then the government. We've seen this the last several years now, haven't we? Does the government put our health at the priority? No, not at all. And another thing that keeps us sick is the medical system itself. Now, I can speak to this. I've been inside the belly of the beast. I spent 3 years in medical school. All right, so I know. The national board exam, just so you know, 60 questions about pharmaceutical drugs. You want to know how many questions for nutrition?
0.
One question.
Are you serious?
One question. What is the source for vitamin D? You know what the answer was? Milk.
Oh, you're kidding me.
That's wrong.
That's a bad answer. It's a bad answer. So the thing is, if you think physicians know about nutrition and how to be healthy, think again. Think again. All right, they don't. So what lifestyle medicine's all about is not trying to give you more medications. It doesn't work. We know that. That's what we call disease management system. That's what we currently have with the traditional medical approach. It's a disease management system. They keep you reasonably alive. That's all they're doing. So lifestyle medicine's about this. What we want to do is swing the pendulum from being predominantly sympathetic to becoming predominantly parasympathetic. And when we do that, now what happens? Your body starts to work the way it was designed. That's a beautiful thing. It was designed to thrive and experience peace and pleasure and restoration, to digest its food and absorb nutrients, to experience fun, playing, and ease, to thrive, to heal. To heal itself, the body heals itself far better than any medications could ever do. And you experience life living it powerfully. Wow. Wow. So it's amazing. Now the wisdom of being able to switch from the sympathetic state to the parasympathetic state is as old as time itself. We've known this. How many of you have seen the symbol of the yin and the yang?
Yeah.
Okay? It's the wisdom is right there. So there are 5 major elements that can keep us in the parasympathetic state if we choose. If we choose. We have to be aware of it. So these 5 elements, I've studied this from ancient scriptures, going back in almost every culture you can think of. They all say the same thing. So it's common. It goes back a long ways. So number 1 at the top of the list, what can keep us in the parasympathetic state is the words that we think. It's the thoughts that we think. It's the thoughts that we think. The thoughts that we think. Buddha said we are what we think.
We are. Wow.
Not what you eat, you are what you think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we remake our world. We do. It's powerful. In the Bible, ancient scriptures again, all right? Proverbs 23:7, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he.
Right.
Okay? All right, we've got all kinds of wisdom. I love this one from James Allen, who wrote the book As a Man Thinketh.
Yes.
Fabulous book. I got it in my car. Always keep it with me. It's a fabulous book. All we achieve and all that we fail to achieve is the direct result of our own thoughts. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. Say that sentence to somebody who's complaining to you and see the look on their face.
Right.
You are today where your thoughts have brought you.
Oh.
You don't
That's
like your
heavy.
life? Well, consider this. You are today where your thoughts have brought you.
You created it. Right.
You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. It's up to you. Change your thinking. Change your thinking. Now, we're going to dive into this a little bit more because it's so important. It is so critical to health. It starts here. Being able to live a thriving, healthy, happy life starts with your thoughts. This is one of the things I do with all my clients. I start with thinking. Because if you've got stinking thinking, you're going to be in the sympathetic state. You've got to use the power of positive thinking I learned from Norman Vincent Peale to keep you in the parasympathetic state. Second secret is going to be consistent with your thoughts will be the words that you speak. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. Now, I learned something growing up that was contradictory to this. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie. That's a lie. How many of you know that's a lie? Yeah, that's a lie. It's absolutely a lie. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. Buddha said it a long time ago. Words have the power to destroy or heal. When words are both true and kind, they can change our world. Absolutely the case. Absolutely the case. And I love this as well. So a bad mood is never an excuse to use cruel words. Never. Moods pass, but cruel words wound the soul. And by the way, it's both parties. It's a wounded soul wounding another soul. That's what happens. It's very powerful. So one of my teachers, Reverend Jim, he said this one day, and I never forgot it, to practice saying powerful words, because if we say negative words, they can be cruel, they can be damaging. If we're complaining, or if we're gossiping, we're going to be in the sympathetic state. So we have to be mindful of what we say. So he said this, it's an old Arabian proverb, the words of the tongue should have 3 gatekeepers. Is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? Satisfy all 3 before opening your mouth to speak. When I first learned this, I didn't say very much for a while. I was a little quiet. I had to do a lot of thinking. So we need to filter what we're going to say and think about it. Most people don't. So it's being able to really think and use judgment, intention, choice, compassion, and empathy, and think. Think before you speak. Really think and do the work. It's very powerful to do this. 2 powerful words, the most powerful words in the English language. What do you think they are?
Thank you.
Thank you? Nope. Most powerful words in the English language. What's that?
Love and hate.
Love and hate? Nope.
I am.
Somebody said
I am.
Wow.
I am. The 2 most powerful words in the English language, okay? Here's why. Whatever you put after them and you say it repeatedly, it will shape your future. It will shape your reality. No kidding. And we speak to ourselves all the time. By the way, I'm going to send you all the slides, just so you know. Okay, I'm going to send you a link to all the slides so you're going to get all that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just want to save you from doing extra workouts.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to send you all the slides. So the thing about it is that we say things to ourselves all the time, right?
Right.
We're always talking to ourselves. It's called self-talk in psychology. So how many of us wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm going to have a great day today. Not everybody.
Some days.
Some people say, oh my God, I didn't sleep well. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm still tired. I'm so tired.
Yes.
Now, one of my clients, a high-powered professional businesswoman, owns a mortgage brokerage firm in Monterey, in the Monterey Peninsula. Very successful. One day I'm on a coaching call with her, and she's saying, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed. Third time I said, stop! Time out!
Yeah.
Time out! I'm getting tired, exhausted, and overwhelmed hearing you talk about how tired, exhausted, and overwhelmed you are. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
And I said, what is your attitude statement? Because I have all my clients say positive, empowering attitude statements 30 times a day, every single day, to reprogram their subconscious mind. Oh, she said. I said, have you been saying your attitude statement 30 times a day? She said, oh, you caught me. No. I said, I can tell. So what is your attitude statement? She said, oh, I'm a high-powered professional leader empowering my team to make a powerful difference in the world. Oh, is that who you are? Yes, I am. Okay, good. Start living into it. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
Stop complaining. Third secret. So thoughts are powerful. Words are also powerful. But actions speak louder than words, don't they? So actions is the third secret, because no kidding, actions speak louder than words. How many of you are parents? Okay, you're parents? So you've learned the lesson. Your children will not listen to you, but they will do everything you do. Our children teach us as parents a powerful lesson, that we have to be able to walk the talk if we're going to teach our children well. It really is about that. No kidding. We have to. I have 4. I ought to know. Okay? So I learned this from Dr. Stephen Covey, who said the key to growth is to learn to make promises and to keep them, particularly to ourselves. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym on Monday at 6:30 in the morning before I go to work. Alarm goes off at 5:30. Snooze. You just let yourself off the hook. You're now in the sympathetic state. Just like that. Just like that. So now what happens? We have to live a life of integrity, like no kidding. In order to stay in the parasympathetic state, we have to practice living a life of integrity, making promises to ourselves and everyone else, and keeping our word. Our word is sacred, and we have to be able to keep that. That's why they call it spelling, because we give spells as to whether or not we will have the magic in our life. And it could be black magic or it could be white magic. Either direction you want to go is your choice. So you want to do the positive magic. You want to have it work. So it works really well. The fourth secret is powerful to understand. And I learned this a long time ago. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I'm so glad my mother was picky. Oh, she screened everyone. No kidding.
Give me your friends and I'll show you.
Okay? She screened everyone that I associated with. She wanted to know who they were, who their parents were. She wanted to have a conversation with the parents. She made sure everything was screened thoroughly. She came from a very successful family, so she understood the importance of friendships. She understood that. Now, the research actually shows this powerfully, that you are the average of the 5 people you most associate with in every which way. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, socially, every which way. It's going to happen. Even more research shows that it's not only the 5 people you associate with most, but who are their friends. There's a book called Connected. Powerful research has been done on this. It's amazing. In the book Connected, they show that it could go 2 or 3 layers down that will impact you, and you don't even know these people. So screen everybody really well. Remember that if you have stinking thinking people in your circle of friends, that's going to impact you. It really will. So the company you keep is really important. So I love what Zig Ziglar taught me a long time ago. He said this: life is too short to spend your precious time trying to convince a person who wants to live in gloom and doom otherwise.
Right.
Give lifting that person your best shot. I recommend one time. Right? But don't hang around long enough for his or her bad attitude to pull you down. Instead, surround yourself with optimistic people. How many of you have felt drained by dealing with people with stinking thinking?
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that anymore. All right? It doesn't mean to stop loving them. It just means, as Reverend Jim says, you have to love them from further afar. All right? Love them from further afar. You just don't welcome them into your inner circle. So it's very powerful to do this. I love what Gandhi said. This is a powerful quote. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet.
Oh.
Isn't that a good one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very powerful to do this. So when you think about what you want to create as a thriving, healthy life, and you want those healthy people to be in your life, what you want to be able to do, don't worry about it, it's fine, just take care of it.
Yeah.
You need to hang out with positive people who fit your future and not the negative people who fit your history. Who's on board for that?
I'm on board.
All right, very
Yes.
good. So that's what we want to do. Now, the 5th secret that affects our central nervous system state, sympathetic or parasympathetic, this is the one that throws everyone for a loop. They don't realize how powerful it is. And you have total control over it. And that is the food that you eat. Your food affects you neurologically? Neurologically? Has anybody ever heard that on CNN? No.
No.
Anybody ever heard that on Fox News? No. Okay? Food affects you neurologically. Most of the time we just think if it looks good, tastes good, smells good, it must be good.
No.
Nope. Sometimes we get the nutritional value. How many of you read the labels on the food values?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You do that? Okay, this
Yeah.
still can be misleading. They don't have to put
That's
everything
true.
on there.
That's true.
Okay, recommendations from so-called experts on the Dr. Oz show. Okay, that can be contradictory as well. Here's the reality. Our central nervous system in our body knows the truth of what works for our body and what doesn't. That's our central nervous system. And it's powerful. Think about it. Every animal on the face of the planet, they know which berries to eat and which ones not to. Human beings don't think that way anymore. We used to know. We used to know. Tribal ways absolutely knows that wisdom. But we've lost that knowledge. And so we need to gain it back. So the simplicity is this. The food that you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine, or it's going to be the slowest form of poison.
And with
Okay, and way more. Now you get to choose. So as the wise sage, the wise yogi taught me many, many years ago, words of wisdom. Yogi Bear. What's it gonna be, boo-boo?
yeah.
Okay?
I like
All right,
it.
so here's what we know now. We actually have brain scans to show whether we're in the parasympathetic state or the sympathetic state. It's amazing. This technology that we have now, we can actually scan you while you're living All right, and actually check to see what's triggering a parasympathetic response or a sympathetic response. In fact, we can put you in the scanner. They've tested this. They can show pictures of all different kinds of things and see your brain go back and forth between the two states, just like this. It's amazing. It's amazing. So in summary, the 5 secrets are the thoughts that we think, the words that we speak, the actions that we take, the company we keep, and the food we eat. This is to get you started. It's a good place to start. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the thoughts that we think. So this is all about our mindset, our thinking, our attitude, our consciousness, and awareness to really manage our thoughts. Most of us do not consciously manage our thoughts. We just have, the research shows we have about 95% of the thoughts that we have are repeated the next day. We don't consciously manage that. So it's up to us to consciously manage our thoughts. So we have to think. Our mindset is the key. And it's a lot like a glass of water. It's a lot like a glass of water. So here you notice I'm moving this water in space here. I'm moving my arm around with the water inside the glass. Now, the water's staying constrained by the glass, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not flying all over the place. So, the water is the content. The context is it's the glass. So what's decisive about the shape of the water going, how is the water's shape determined? By the glass. So it is with our mindset, our thoughts. So the shape of our health is determined by our mindset.
Wow.
And it's powerful to understand this. Now, there was a book written, a powerful book written by one of my favorite psychology researchers and teachers out of Stanford University, Dr. Carol Dweck. She's amazing. And she wrote this book called Mindset. How we can learn to fulfill our potential. Parenting, business, school, relationships. It's the new psychology of success. Really powerful. Now what she did, she was wrestling with a question. Why is it that some children who have seemingly every advantage struggle? And why other children who have seemingly every disadvantage excel? Why is that? So she studied that for 30 years. Can you imagine studying something for 30 years?
Wow.
That's a long time. Long time. So what she determined was this. It all has to do with our mindset. And that there's 2 fundamental mindsets. I love this because it completely corresponds with the central nervous system. When we are in the sympathetic state, we fundamentally operate with a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is all or nothing type of thinking. You're a winner or a loser, a success or a failure. You got it or you don't. That's fixed mindset thinking. And when people have this kind of thinking, if it doesn't work to their satisfaction, they quit and move on to something else. They give up easily. That's the fixed mindset. But the growth mindset, the kids who succeeded, no matter what the challenges in their life, they showcased a growth mindset. So in the growth mindset, there is no success or failure. Not at all. It's all about a journey. It's all about learning. It's all about growing. It's all about developing.
Yeah.
There is no success or failure. It's all a journey. So those are the kids that embrace challenge and they embraced everything as an opportunity. So this is what we see. Our thinking can be exemplified by this. A fixed mindset person is going to say, I'm only good at certain things. I give up when it gets too hard. I hate challenges. I take feedback. I take feedback and criticism personally. I don't like doing what I don't know. So those are features of a fixed mindset. Whereas the growth mindset person is going to say to themselves, I could be good at anything. I try until I get the results I want. I embrace challenges. I welcome feedback and criticism. I like learning about things I don't know. Question?
Well, you know, philosophy, a lot of people's behavior and actions is determined by their philosophy, their ideology. That could be fixed too.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be fixed.
It could be. Yeah, absolutely.
So we live in a culture that shapes people's thinking.
Absolutely.
And
Just turn on the TV, there it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we have to really start to be conscious and aware of this.
And then one more thing with social media, you know, it's like people all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And it perpetuates, in fact, the social media perpetuates fixed mindset thinking a lot.
Yeah, that's a, yeah.
How is that?
Oh, because
Yeah.
look at what they're doing with Instagram, right? Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me, I'm a success, look at me, I'm a success. That's bringing attention to yourself
Right.
to be able to do that. That's fixed mindset personality.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely consistent with that. Yeah, everybody's looking for attention. Yes, question?
What's the author of that mindset?
Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K.
Carol Dweck.
Carol Dweck, PhD from Stanford University. I'm going to send you the link to her TED Talk. Yes. By the way, you fill out your yellow card. I will send you a follow-up email with all the links. You get all the slides, get all the resources. I back it all up. Everything that I'm sharing with you, I back it all up.
God bless.
Could
Can we do it now?
fixed mindset be an employee versus growth mindset entrepreneur?
That's open. It's really generalizing. It can be, but it can also be the other way around. It's individual. Okay, I believe me, I've met many CEOs who are fixed mindset. Okay, and I've met many people who have almost no education, but they're very much a growth mindset. They just never stop at learning. So it
Right.
doesn't matter their position. The position doesn't matter. It's a choice. It's a choice. And what are we motivated by? So here's something to think about too, because we're motivated by different things in the world that we live in. Some people are motivated extrinsically, which is consistent with the fixed mindset. So they're motivated by money, motivated by status, and by image, right? So that's what's motivating them. That's going to go along with the fixed mindset. Whereas the growth mindset is going to have intrinsic, internal motivations. They're motivated by personal growth, relationships, and contribution. So it's a different level of motivation that's occurring. So here's what happens, however. If we get stuck in the fixed mindset, all of us can go back and forth between the two. All of us can. So if we get stuck in the fixed mindset, what happens is, Thich Nhat Hanh said, is that we have a hard time letting go of our suffering.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so people have a hard time letting go of their suffering out of a fear of the unknown. They prefer suffering that is familiar.
Right.
Think about that. Okay? Yes.
Can people have a little bit of both in one area, like in health? They could be fixed mindset,
Oh, yeah.
but on the job,
Oh yeah.
they're all about the growth.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Oh yeah.
they can have a. So
And it's not, and it could be even certain aspects of their job could be fixed, and certain aspects of their
Yeah.
job could be growth. It's depending on the situation. It fluctuates, and everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
So it's not good or bad. It's just
No, it's not
what
good
it
or
is. It's good to recognize it though.
That's the power.
Yeah.
That's the power, because the fixed mindset is not good or bad, but it is limiting.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It is limiting, and when we recognize it for ourselves, then we have power to actually choose to be more in the growth mindset. It empowers us. So that way, if we're operating in the fixed mindset, we tend to suffer. We tend to suffer, and one of my teachers said this, that life is not suffering.
Yeah.
It's not suffering. It's just that you will suffer it as long as you hold on to your attachments.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Let the church say amen.
Instead of letting go and just going for the ride freely, okay,
Yeah.
no matter what happens.
Right.
Okay, to really accept it. By the way, one of my favorite teachers, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he said this: the way to go through life freely. How do you go through life freely? It's embedded in a song. You probably know the song. It's a wise song. It has so much wisdom, but you probably didn't realize how powerful this song was. So I'm going to share with you this song.
I like. You said Dwayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
Wayne Dyer. So here's the song, but you probably didn't know the explanation of the song. So I'm going to explain the song to you. What was that?
I just mess with you. Very superstitious.
No. Here's the song. Here's the song. Okay, row.
Huh?
Row.
Row
Your boat, not somebody else's boat. Don't let anybody else jump in your boat. Don't you jump in somebody else's boat. Row only your boat and row gently, not chaotically, not excessively, not forcibly. Row gently, calmly, peacefully, and row gently down the stream, not back upstream, not back into the past, not into the waterfalls, not into the rocks. No, row gently down the stream with the current of life, and remember to do it joyfully, merrily.
Powerful song.
Yeah, it's one of the most powerful songs.
It is.
Okay, it really is.
It really is.
Okay, so the thing is, do it merrily, do it joyfully, do it peacefully.
And that's less stressful that you were talking about.
And hold on,
Yeah.
and remember that your life is but a dream that you create for yourself. It's your dream. How you live your life is your dream. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, every morning when you get in the shower, is to sing to yourself. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay? And you keep singing it.
I like that.
Okay? It's powerful.
Somebody lock you up.
Okay? If they lock you up and you're happy, you're smiling, it's good. Okay. All right, so now.
I tell God, teach me that.
Yeah, okay, so we can have attachments. I'm not going to go through these, but the thing is, here's what happens. There's a book called The 5 Levels of Attachment. Powerful wisdom. Powerful wisdom. So the lightest attachment is preference, how we would like it to be, but we're okay if it's not. Identity, now we go to the King's game, we're wearing the King's hat, the King's band, the King's jersey, and the King's jacket. That's stronger. All right, stronger still is internalization. The operative word is should. You should do this. We should win. We should do that. You should do that. So we should all over everybody and everything.
Right.
Even, and the strongest level of attachment is must. It's fanaticism. You must do this, otherwise it's off with your head. All right, so that's what we do. So what we need to be able to do to live life without attachments is to live authentically. That's what it means to live an authentic life. No attachments. No attachments. Easier said than done. Read the book. Okay. So of all of the attachments, the Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., who lives up in Rockland, by the way, he says of all the beliefs to detach from. So this is the most important one. Let go of the attachment that you must obtain some image of perfection in order to be happy.
Wow.
Yeah, how many of us know that we have certain perfectionisms about certain things from time to time? Yeah, so that's what we got to let go of. It really is. If we don't, we will suffer. All right, we will suffer, and we'll be in the state of survival, and we'll be like the life of Pi, like Pi on this boat with the Bengal tiger on the other end. All right, so we'll be suffering. So for us to really thrive, so for us to thrive, we need to be like the Dalai Lama. All right, be in the growth mindset, be in the parasympathetic state, living a life where we fulfill our word, our promises, our agreements, and our commitments. We live life from values and principles like responsibility, generosity, integrity, trust, honesty, compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, acknowledgement, and the list goes on. Okay? So that's what we need to be able to do. So there is power in being in the growth mindset. This is what helps us to be healthy. So we get continual improvement, positive challenge. We have a positive viewpoint of challenges. We stretch ourselves and we thrive even in tough times. So now I want to give you some tips on how to promote greater health and being in the growth mindset. All right, some tips, some practical action steps. Here's what you're going to take home with you starting today. So number one, all the wise teachers say this. The most important tip to being able to be in the growth mindset in the parasympathetic state is to practice gratitude. Gratitude. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Fear disappears and abundance appears. So it's practicing being grateful. I have a prayer of gratitude that I say every single day, every time I eat. The first line of it is, thank you, God, for everything. For everything indeed is a blessing. My life is completely wonderful. I have no complaints whatsoever. My invitation to you is to live into that. Okay? Practice being grateful. Every day I wake up and I see this picture and I'm grateful to be the father of these 4 boys. These are my young men. Alright? Thought I'd show you my picture of them. Joseph, 21, UC Santa Cruz, graduating next year. Aaron, 35, internet marketing specialist, plays 5 musical instruments, and professional photographer, extremely creative. Gabriel's going to graduate next year from Cal Poly in business, and talented athlete. Matthew is a graduate of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, so I got 2 Mustangs in the household. Civil engineer, works down in Southern California. He's about to pass part 3 of his professional engineering certification for the state of California. So I am grateful. And they're all doing well. Oh, by the way, he's getting engaged next month. After 9 years.
Getting engaged?
To the right, he's getting engaged. It's going to be a surprise engagement on Pismo Beach with the whole family. We're all going down. I get to be there. Okay? It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So, your mission, should you choose to accept it when it comes to this, remember this, repetitive complaining will attract things for you to complain about.
Right.
More of the same.
That's right.
Repeated gratitude will attract things for you to be thankful about. Practice being grateful. If you are grateful, you got more coming to you. So your mission is to journal 5 new things that you're grateful for each and every day. If you have difficulty sleeping, do this right before you go to bed. You'll sleep like a baby. Eliminate complaining about anything, and I mean anything, for at least 30 days in a row.
Not even politician, I can't complain.
Anything. I mean anything, especially that.
That's going to be a hard.
Especially that. Now, here's what I will tell you this. I learned this from a powerful minister, Edwina Gaines. And so she taught me this. If it takes you, if it takes you the rest of your life to get to 30 days in a row,
Just keep trying.
then it will have been a life well lived. All right, here's my prayer of gratitude. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but like I said, thank you, God, for everything indeed is a blessing. My life is completely wonderful. I have no complaints whatsoever. All right, so I'm going to send you my prayer of gratitude. This is what I say every day before I eat, every day before I go to sleep. All right, another thing that will help you to be in the growth mindset is to practice being of service.
Yeah.
Being of service to others absolutely gets you out of complaint mode and gets you into service mode.
Yeah.
So how may I be of service to you? Another thing that absolutely puts you in the growth mindset is to practice reading and learning and growing.
Yes.
All right, today there's no excuse. No excuse. I have one of my clients says, well, I don't like to read. I said, well, tell me about your day. Tell me about what you do, what your activities are. And so he told me, oh, I run about 2 to 3 miles every day. Oh, good. Do you do anything else while you're running? No, I just run. I said, well, from now on, you're going to listen to audiobooks.
Oh, wow.
While you're running?
While you're running, you're going to listen to audiobooks. And then I said, oh, in addition, every time you finish your run, you're going to take out a 3x5 card and you're going to write down 3 important things that you got during your run. So he has this stack of 3x5 cards with all the things that he wrote down of all the important points every single time he ran. He's equivalent to a PhD now. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. He's learned so much. It's been such a valuable practice for him. Another practice is practicing mindful as opposed to mindless eating. Be conscious, be aware, be focused on the beauty and the gift of your food. So feel that. Another practice is to surround yourself with positive people. We talked a little bit about that earlier. But then also positive energy. Most of us don't do enough of that. So one of the things that we know in Japan, doctors prescribe something called forest bathing.
Wow.
So being able to find a quiet outdoor space, such as a park, a forest, or a path, surrounded by nothing but nature. Okay? Since silence your cell phone or other technology, forget about it for at least 20 minutes. Take long, deep breaths. Use all 5 senses to observe the nature around you in every way. Use mindfulness to be present and not let your thoughts wander. It's a beautiful practice. It really makes a difference. Far too many of us are not connected to nature. So do that. Yes?
I take,
Jeff.
what I do is sit out and take something to read, and I take my shoes off and put it in the grass.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good practice too. Great. Keep doing that. Another practice is yoga. Yoga is a beautiful practice.
Yeah.
I taught it. I learned it since the time I was 15. It's a powerful practice, a great practice to really practice being in the growth mindset. Yoga prepares us for meditation, which is about relaxing your body, quieting your mind, and awakening your spirit. All of these practices, what we show in the research, if you practice any of these, even 1 or 2 of them, it will change your brain state from being very chaotic to being much calmer in just a matter of minutes. It's incredible. So, and how many of you like to visualize? You like to visualize a beautiful, calm, pleasant place. So here's a picture I thought I'd put in here for visualization. How's this look for visualization? Beautiful beach, beautiful waves, nice, clear, clean water. So this is a good place to visualize. All right, so now let's talk about the food very quickly. All right, so I mentioned before, the food that every time you eat or drink, you're either feeding disease or you're fighting it. That you get to choose. So here are the things that contribute to disease. What feeds disease? I'm going to just go through a quick list of what feeds disease. Number 1 on the list is all oils. All oils. It doesn't matter what kind. I don't care if it's I don't care how virgin the virgin oil is. Okay, I don't care. All right, it's all going to cause inflammation, and especially the foods that are fried. This is where we concentrate the foods in a jacuzzi of fat. All right, so that's what we're doing. Jacuzzi. It's a jacuzzi of fat. And here's what you want to look at. All right, so same calories. All right, you got 280 calories. This is with oil. This is without oil. It's a big difference. You get much more food without the oil. So you get a lot of difference when you don't have the oil. The research is clear. Oil causes damage to the arteries. Causes damage to the arteries. Causes damage to the arteries. Everybody with me?
I take black seed oil. Is that in that oil?
You're better off with actually just fresh ground up flaxseed. You can take it.
Okay.
But you would be better off. But don't use it for cooking.
No, I don't use
Okay.
it for
So what I'm
cooking,
talking about is all the other oils that people use for cooking.
Oh, for cooking. Okay.
Or for adding to their foods and things like that.
I got you.
So you want to stay away from those. All right, so now, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, who wrote the book Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, and he says this, I'll try to invoke his spirit here. Come here, Dr. Esselstyn.
Yoga again, huh?
No oil! Okay, that was how he would say it just like that.
Who is that?
Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, who wrote Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. Fantastic material. Another thing that causes disease, all meat, including beef, pork, poultry, fish, and eggs, all animal flesh, it's dead. All right, it causes disease, including eggs. Eggs all cause cardiovascular disease, colon cancer, diabetes, and prostate cancer, and many other things.
Oh, just ate what?
Still going to get that. That's all the protein. You're getting it. Don't think for a moment you can outsmart disease. Okay? Don't think you can do that. All right? So it's causing that. Meat, all meat.
How about every once in a while?
You have consequences for every choice you make.
Right. Okay.
Okay? You're an adult. So everything you eat is either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison.
Right.
So you get to choose.
Yeah.
Who am I to tell you how to live your life? I'm not going to tell you.
Slow death.
You get to choose. All right, so meat causes all kinds of damage, acidification, inflammation, risk of cancer, and inflammation. Carnitine causes trimethylamine oxide. Dr. Michael Clapper, a very good friend of mine, he's a physician, and he says, you can eat your meat, you can eat your egg whites, you can eat all that stuff, but there's a trade-off. So yes, you get the things that you think you can get. You get all the things they've been saying on the media, but you also get oxidized cholesterol, reactive aldehydes, new 5-GC, endotoxins, trimethylamine oxide, carcinogenic heterocyclic amines, heme iron, bioconcentrated pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, hormones, and antibiotics. This should be on the label of every hay.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Every package of deli meat, every package of red meat, every package of chicken, every package of
wouldn't
turkey.
sell.
It should. So if this was on the label, would you really buy it?
Somebody would.
Would you?
Yes.
All right. So one of the things that happens, trimethylamine oxide, we now know from eating red meat, poultry, liver, fish, milk, cheese, and eggs, these compounds have to be converted by a special species of bacteria into trimethylamine that gets oxidized in the liver. This is the causative agent of the inflammation for 80% of heart attacks and strokes. We now know this is what's being caused by this. So that's what's happening. Now, a lot of people say, well, I got to get my protein. How many of you think you got to get your protein?
Yeah.
How many think you got to get your protein? Well, here's what we've done. We've done the research. An international study, over 80,000 participants, and what we showed is that the people who had protein from their animal foods, they had a 60% increase in cardiovascular disease risk. The people who got their protein from plant sources had a 40% decrease in risk of cardiovascular disease. My friend, that's a 100% swing. That's significant. No drug does this.
Right.
No drug does this. The World Health Organization said that all sausage, all processed meat, sausages, hot dogs, salami, pepperoni, bacon, ham, all of those processed meats are now classified as a type 1 carcinogen. Cause cancer. The same as plutonium, the same as asbestos, the same as cigarettes. The same. All other red meats, oh, class 2A, that means probably causes cancer. Probably. Probably. Okay? Probably. Would you like to feed your grandchildren food that probably causes cancer? Would that be a good bet to take? Anybody want to take that bet? I wouldn't want to do that. So there really is no safe level. There isn't any at all. So I actually sent this information to my youngest son's high school before he graduated, and they stopped serving hot dogs and pepperoni pizzas.
Oh.
Yeah, they stopped. Okay, they stopped. They realized, okay, this is important. By the way, all these deli meats are what the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School calls your erectile dysfunction starter kit.
He said,
Your erectile dysfunction starter kits. All right?
This is the starter kit right here.
All right, so it's important. Men, pay attention. Ladies, if you want your man to be healthy, pay attention to him. All right? Okay, so dairy also causes issues. All right, so butter, cheese, yogurt, milk, cottage cheese, and ice cream, all of it. Dairy causes significant harm. In fact, what we show in the research, the people who have the most amount of milk in their diet have the most amount of osteoporosis. Not the least. Now, if you think about it, remember the commercial, milk, it does the body good? Milk for strong bones, you remember that?
Yeah.
You know that they're not set, they can't have those on TV anymore. You know why? We sued them. And we won.
Oh, really?
We won for false advertising.
When you say
We won. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, responsible as opposed to irresponsible medicine. We sued them and we won.
Yeah, they don't have that.
They don't have those anymore. Notice they're gone.
They are.
They're
Is that
gone.
what the American College of Lifestyle Medicine? That's something different.
That's the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine got started earlier. Dr. Barnard in Washington, D.C. It's a fabulous committee. A lot of us are in both. A lot of us are in both. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in both. Now, I thought I'd give you a physician with wise words of wisdom for you when it comes to dairy. My good friend, Dr. Milton Mills. Milton Mills. He says this: you shouldn't be drinking cow's milk for the same reason that if you needed a blood transfusion, I wouldn't give you cow's blood.
Wow.
It's not meant for a human.
It's not meant, yeah.
Now, by the way, this is an incredibly smart man. Okay, grew up in Oakland, Stanford Medical School, George Washington School of Medicine as a teacher and practices medicine in Washington, D.C. Who's from Washington, D.C.? Okay, look him up.
I think he was on, what was it, Ocean, they got a program called Food Revolution.
Okay, yes,
Right.
the food.
Yeah, he was,
Yes,
I saw him on that.
good. Yeah, but he's in your neck of the woods.
Right.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
GW.
Yep, he's phenomenal. Yes.
Lately, all that stuff on the news about mothers can't get their formula for their children.
Oh yeah.
Can you speak on that? You have anything to say about that?
Yeah, it's really simple. You know, mothers for the longest time in history have been breastfeeding their children.
Right.
Okay, all 4 of my children nursed from their mother.
Right.
Didn't have to worry about a speck of formula whatsoever. So the thing is, feed the mothers the healthy foods so they can feed their children. Okay, and stop worrying about the formula.
Right, right.
Okay, we've been doing it for a lot longer than formula has ever been around. So somebody's just not thinking. All they're doing,
They
all
don't
they're
say
doing,
that on the TV.
right? They're just trying to make money.
Yeah,
They're
it
just
is.
trying to make money. Okay, look what happens on the news. What do? They bring attention and drama
Fear.
and fear
Yeah.
to things that are completely irrelevant and nonsensical.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't watch the news. Yes, Jeff.
There's also, if you want to do if you have to do a formula, you could go online and you could learn holistic ways to make it yourself, healthy. Far healthier than getting it in a can. They give you recipes for it.
Yeah, there's so many different
That's
solutions.
what I would say.
Yeah, there's so many different solutions. Another thing that causes a sympathetic response, and this is a big one in this country, it's refined sugar. And it looks like a drug, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Guess what? It is. It is a drug. And it used to be only the rich people could get sugar many, many, many years ago. All right, and it used to be it was only a little bit. I mean, it was 1 scoop of sugar was about $100.
What?
That was
Really?
it. Yes, when it first started out, it was very expensive stuff. Very expensive stuff. But then, because of mass production, by the way, did you know that refined sugar, is a slave crop?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking about that.
That's how the price went down.
Okay.
There shouldn't be a single African American or minority
I'm reading
person
that.
in the entire country that should be ingesting any single speck of sugar.
Yeah.
Okay? You should boycott sugar. Absolutely. It's a slave crop. It's a slave crop. So that's what happened. So the thing is, people are getting 700 grams of sugar in 2013, and it's gone up. There are places, there are crack houses, and there are crack houses like this, Sugar Mountain. They only sell one thing. And it's legal. This is legal crack. This is legal crack. There's a store. I found this place in Niagara Falls. I was speaking up there. I saw this store and I said, oh my God, I got to take a picture of this. So Sugar Mountain. They're not making any. They're not playing small with it. Niagara Falls.
Oh.
Is it a
On the
candy
Canadian
store?
side.
The candy store?
It's candy and sugar like you wouldn't believe. The whole store is all confection and candy and everything else under the sun. It's amazing. That's the only thing they sell is sugar.
Yeah, a lot of those right here.
Yeah. No, we do. Now here's the thing. What we've shown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what we've seen is this: sugar is as addictive as cocaine.
Yeah, it is.
Now, the
Rehabbing.
font here is intentional. Where's this font come from? Where do you think?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. The history of Coca-Cola. Here's what happened. Late 1800s, Coca-Cola was actually made with cocaine.
Yeah.
And then it was a rich white person's drink because it was only in the soda fountains in the special places, right? But then Coca-Cola
right.
figured out,
That's right.
oh, let's make it. We got machinery now. Let's make it for cheap and let's bottle this. So remember those little bottles of Coca-Cola?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they started with. Those little bottles.
Turned it
Two
into-
liters.
They started with the little bottles,
They sure
and it was
did.
5 cents.
Little bottles.
It was 5 cents for a bottle of Coca-Cola, and it made mass production.
Right.
And then everybody started buying it. And then the federal government came back to Coca-Cola and said, we got problems with social behavior because too many people are getting addicted to the cocaine. You need to change the formula. So by federal request, Coca-Cola asked the scientists to change the formula. So they substituted the cocaine with refined sugar because the scientist says it's legal and it's just as addictive.
Is it just one molecule away or something like
It's
that?
very close.
Very close.
And how it interacts in the dopamine receptor sites in the brain is exactly the same.
Wow.
It's exactly the same. In fact, you want to see the brain scan? All right, sugar lights up the hippocampus in your central nervous system stronger than cocaine does. Now, I'm not suggesting that you switch to cocaine. Don't do that. All right? Okay? But it's stronger than the cocaine is.
Now the hippocampus had to do with memory, right?
It has to do with memory. It has to do with a lot of different things. And in fact, making new brain cells, the hippocampus is critically involved in that. Neurogenesis begins at the hippocampus.
Neurogenesis.
So yeah, neurogenesis. So sugar is absolutely toxic. It affects us in so many different ways. It advances your aging, causes all kinds of problems. Yes.
So is that likely that some always said, why is there so much Alzheimer's and dementia? You didn't have it so much
Right.
before. You had the one uncle in the corner, but
Yeah.
you didn't, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. I do a whole seminar on preventing Alzheimer's. I'm doing it Tuesday at Faux Fresh in Rancho Cordova. So
Faux
come,
Fresh?
Faux Fresh in Rancho
Sounds
Cordova.
good.
Faux Fresh. They have a vegan, oil-free menu that is spectacular.
Oh, Rancho
and
Cordova.
delicious.
What's the
Rancho
date
Cordova
you're
on
doing
Coloma Road.
Right.
And it's absolutely phenomenal.
What
Please
time?
come. Faux Fresh at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8. And so, yeah, so I'm doing preventing Alzheimer's Tuesday night.
Faux Fresh,
both.
6 o'clock.
What's that?
What
Faux
day?
P-H-O.
Oh my God. What's the date?
P-H-O. Fresh.
What's the
Faux
date?
Fresh. Tuesday.
This Tuesday?
This Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Faux Fresh Tuesday, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
28th. The 28th. Yeah. Welcome to come.
On Coloma.
On Coloma Road.
Yeah.
Coloma Road. It's fantastic. So I'll be talking about the entire complexity about Alzheimer's. I'll even share about how I did autopsies on Alzheimer's brains.
Oh,
So I'll
that's
share about that.
great.
So more to
Or
come.
maybe we could do
Is
that,
that free?
Sabrina.
It's free.
Yeah.
That's completely free. Yes.
Just real quick, I was just saying, because I grew up in the 60s and 70s, so
Yes.
that's when they started, and you could drink a whole gallon yourself with, what was that? The Kool-Aid.
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 Oh yeah.
You poured all that sugar in there and you drank the whole thing.
I drank the
right then and
Kool-Aid
there.
too. Yeah, more ways
So,
than one.
yeah.
I drank the Kool-Aid in more ways than one. Yes, absolutely. So sugar causes all kinds of problems. Yes, Jen.
On some of the recipes for Whole Foods, I see that they consider, you could put maple syrup, they consider that a whole food.
They consider it a whole food. I do not. I do not. Dr. Michael Greger says the best whole food supplement substitute for any sweetener is going to be actual dates, date syrup, or date sugar, because that has all the fiber attached to it. So I use
not the
date,
coconut?
Yeah,
or
not coconut, no, date syrup. Date or
Really?
actual dates. Cut up the dates. You can grind up the dates yourself.
Yeah.
Date
They are
syrup
sweet,
or what?
yeah.
Or date sugar?
Date sugar, date syrup, or whole dates and chop them up.
Put them in your blender.
I
I
haven't
put it
seen
in my
it.
blender. I put it in my oatmeal. It's wonderful.
Right. I haven't seen the date sugar. I've seen the date syrup. I have that. Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah, it's out there.
It's out there.
So
Wow.
agave is,
It's a refined sugar.
that's
Yeah.
what kind of sugar.
Okay, honey is a refined sugar.
Oh, that's right.
Maple syrup is a refined sugar. Who refined them? Okay, the bees refined the honey, but man did the rest.
How about the raw honey? I use raw honey, manuka.
That's still refined.
Right, that makes sense. It's a
Yeah,
refined-
it's still.
Because we take it out of the cone.
Because it's not raw.
Yeah, it's man-made or it's bee-made. Okay, the bee. By the way, the bees make that honey for a purpose.
Yeah.
It's for them. It's not for us.
Well, how does the date syrup, how does that get made? That's not.
They crush the
refined?
dates. They just crush the dates. That's all.
That's it?
That's it.
And water.
And water.
Yeah,
Add
they
water.
liquefy
They crush the
the
dates and add water. That's it.
Yeah. I have date syrup.
Oh, that
I
means, let me
do
go
that,
on
yeah.
board to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
So stevia, no.
No, I don't recommend
Stevia
stevia
plant.
because here's why. Now, stevia is an herb. It is very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Now the problem with stevia is that it triggers the hippocampus the same way that sugar does. So what you're doing,
Really?
it's a step down drug, if you will. Okay, it's a step down from heroin to methadone.
Transition.
Okay, so you're going from heroin to methadone. All right, so you go from refined sugar to stevia. It's better. It's better, but it's not what a lot of people get so addicted to sweetness and super sweetness. And if you get off of the sweeteners, you eventually get to a point where fruit and dates are so sweet, you will never want to go back to that stuff because your taste buds re-regulate. And they regulate to the point where it should be. And you start to really taste sweetness I have these nectarines. Oh my goodness. They are so sweet. It's amazing. So I put them in my mouth and oh, it's incredible. It's heaven. It's a taste of heaven.
Yeah, the dates are sweet.
One more
Yeah.
All right,
question
one
on
more
that.
question. I'm never going to get finished. All right, I can see.
Hold on, real quick.
Prunes,
Even
yes.
though they're, for other purposes too, but
Yeah.
I like the taste.
Yeah, they taste really good. Yeah. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, it does.
What does neurogenesis mean?
What's that?
What does neurogenesis mean?
Neurogenesis is this field of research that's showing that if we engage in healthy lifestyle practices, we can actually stimulate new brain cell growth. Isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a professor. So when you come to my Alzheimer's talk, I will give you the resources on neurogenesis as well. So you got to come Tuesday to find out more.
I'll be there.
Question here, and then I'm going to move on.
It's two questions.
Okay, double header.
This guy, right, it's like sugar and salt kind of play off each other. And the other thing was like chromium pipelate, like that can help reduce the sugar to sweet grade.
Yeah, okay, so when we are in the sympathetic state, for whatever reason, our brain is designed. Now, by the way, please don't be mad at me for explaining human design. If you have an issue with the design, take it up with the designer, not with me.
Don't shoot the
I
messenger.
just explain the design, okay? I don't have any claim to it. So, I'm just the messenger. So here's what happens. When we are in the state of the sympathetic, the way we're designed, we're in the state of survival, we're going to look for fat, salt, and sugar. Fat, salt, and sugar. Now, the combination of which is incredibly addicting and intoxicating. And if you look very carefully, you will realize that the food industry knows this.
Right, they do.
And there are survival food stations everywhere you look. McDonald's, Carl's Jr., Wendy's, Taco Bell, the list goes on. Okay,
Churches,
7-Eleven, El Pollo Loco. I mean, there's so many, right?
Popeye.
Those are all survival food stations. What happens? The food industry is capturing and taking advantage of the state that we're in. Oh, we keep Americans stressed. They're going to the doctors to manage their disease, and they're going to go to the survival food stations to get their food because they don't have enough time to cook their own food. It's a beautiful system when you look at it from the point of making money.
Everybody makes money.
Oh, they are all making money. The pharmaceutical industry, the food industry, the government, they're all making money. So sugar causes all kinds of problems to every organ system. I just want to put a brain, the heart, the kidneys, the joints, the genitals, the skin. Every organ system in the body is affected by refined sugar. Every organ system. Another major culprit is processed foods. Processed foods, I don't care if it says healthy choice. I don't care if it says lean cuisine. Don't believe it. That's just marketing. That is just marketing. All right? So don't believe that. All right? I love what Chris Carr said. Processed foods cause inflammation, a source of most chronic illnesses as well as stress. The American diet, 63% of the American diet is processed foods.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And they're marketing to vegetarians.
Oh, sure they are.
Beyond Burger.
Oh yeah, all
that.
that. Of course, because that's where the money is. They're taking advantage of people's being in a state of stress. Oh, we trade one thing for another. Okay, good. We'll make money there. Yeah, my son's in economics. We have extensive conversations about this. He's an economics major where we talk about how this all works. All right, so another culprit for the body that keeps us in the sympathetic state is alcohol. There is no safe level of alcohol. If it bursts your bubble, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? But I want you to know the truth, okay? The truth about alcohol, it absolutely affects the heart at so many different levels. Okay, it absolutely increases your risk of stroke, high blood pressure, damaging the heart, leads to heart failure, abnormal heart rhythms, and interacts with medications. The American Medical Association 2 years ago sent a letter to the United States Dietary Guidelines Committee. In that letter, there was a paragraph about alcohol. The American Medical Association. Now this did not reach CNN or any of the news stations, but in this paragraph, they said this one sentence, but there is no safe threshold for alcohol and cancer risk. No safe threshold.
Well, didn't they say that wine is good for your blood pressure or something like that?
Yeah, and you believe everything you hear.
No, I just hear it.
Now you hear it because that's marketing, right? That's marketing. So this is a letter from the American Medical Association to the Dietary Guidelines Committee, but this did not hit the news. I want you to get it. What's that? For cancer risk. And by the way, here's the equivalent. One bottle of wine is equivalent to 5 cigarettes in men and 10 cigarettes for women. It's worse for women. Okay? It's worse for women. In addition, this just came out this month, this year in March. My good friends, Drs. Dean and Aisha Sherzai, I'm going to talk about them on Tuesday because they're the leading researchers on Alzheimer's. And so they showed this research study. They're called the brain docs. We've known that heavy alcohol consumption is associated with brain shrinkage. But new comprehensive study shows that even one drink a day can damage the brain, and the damage is exponential, not linear, it's exponential with each additional drink. This is based on over 36,000 brain scans. That's irrefutable evidence. Brain scans. I don't care how much resveratrol it has. It causes damage. Every single bit does. Another thing that causes damage is caffeine. So we know this. Consumption of these energy drinks leads to significant increased risk of arrhythmia in the heart, up to a 500% increased risk of stroke.
So there's no safe level for coffee?
There's no safe level for caffeine. By the way, caffeine's kissing cousin is nicotine. Nicotine. One pure drop of liquid nicotine on your skin, you'll be dead in 5 seconds.
Whoa. What?
One pure drop of liquid nicotine touching your skin, you'll be dead in 5 seconds. That's how toxic. One pure drop of liquid caffeine, you won't be quite dead. Maybe you though. Maybe you.
He drinks a lot of coffee.
But the thing is, you will likely get very sick. Very sick. Now here's what we know.
I had 2 cups today.
Okay, I get it.
I had 3
I get it.
months
So, by the way, in case you didn't know,
Good for you.
the coffee, the caffeine, is a pesticide.
Happy.
Caffeine is a pesticide. It's an alkaloid. Caffeine and nicotine are both pesticides.
Wow.
If you put the coffee grounds out in the garden, they will kill all the snails.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tobacco leaves will do the same.
Yeah.
So, caffeine. Okay, coffee, chocolate, matcha tea, black tea, green tea, and energy drinks. Okay, this is the truth. Dehydrates and acidifies the body. Creates a false fight or flight response. Prompts the adrenal glands to pump toxic blend of adrenaline, hurting the brain, liver, and kidneys. Blood sugar imbalances, headaches, insomnia, anxiousness, weight gain, premature aging, adrenal fatigue, hair loss, depersonalization, and kidney stones, and cystic breasts for women as well. The list goes on. Yes.
Are there any healthy teas?
Herbal
Herbal teas, there's plenty of herbal teas.
Yeah.
By the way,
Okay.
African red
Black
tea. Rooibos, Rooibos. African
I have
red
that.
tea is the best
Yes.
tea on the planet.
African red, is that the same as, I have African solstice, is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
African red tea
Oh,
is
I've tried that.
rooibos, and it has all the antioxidant properties
Yeah,
of
I
green
have
tea,
that.
but no caffeine. It's the best tea. I love it. I drink it all the time.
Yeah, I have that.
As a tea, that's what I drink. Yes.
It's called Robo.
I had to ask this.
Rooibos. R-O-O-I-B-O-S.
Yeah, I have that.
Question. Yes.
Yeah, with alcohol.
Yeah.
What about the alcohol in any of the herbal tinctures?
Usually those are remedies, and the alcohol is minuscule. Okay, so it's not the same as
So no
drink.
safe levels.
There's no safe level risk. Yeah, there's no safe level of. I mean, if you were regularly consuming them, then it would be a different story. But usually the herbal tinctures we're talking about is very, very small amount.
Yeah, okay.
That
I
your
just
body
wanted
can
to check that.
your body can handle, but a drink, even one drink a day, can cause brain damage.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Okay, so that's the truth about caffeine. So now that I've depressed you thoroughly,
Yes. Let's just back up.
let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. All right, and how that works is that we've got to have the right things to produce energy. Adenosine triphosphate is the energy molecule. We need mitochondria, and we need this fuel here, glycogen. This is the human complex carbohydrate. You cannot buy this in the store. You cannot. We have to manufacture this. The only way we can manufacture this, we need these two specific carbohydrates. Only these two. These are the only two carbohydrates on the face of the planet that we can use to manufacture glycogen. Amylose and amylopectin. A lot of people say carbs are bad. Got to have a low carb diet. How many of you have heard that?
Yes.
Okay, that's so overgeneralized because there's thousands of carbohydrates.
Right.
Okay, there are two that we must have as human beings, amylose and amylopectin. We've got to have these. We run on these. There's no protein here. You notice that? No protein on this graph whatsoever. Protein is not needed for producing energy at all. At all. Want to put that myth to bed. We need amylose and amylopectin. Here are the molecular structure diagrams for amylose and amylopectin, an enzyme called amylase in our mouth, in our intestinal tract, that helps to break down these two complex carbohydrates so we can formulate glycogen. Human beings have 6 times more amylase enzyme in their mouth than any other primate. Gorillas, monkeys, chimpanzees, you name it. We have 6 times the amylase. We are divinely designed to break down amylose and amylopectin. Again, don't argue with me. I'm just the messenger. You can argue with the messenger, with the director. So, amylose and amylopectin, otherwise known as starch,
Like rice?
starch, like legumes, beans, peas, lentils, okay? Like rice, quinoa, spelt, millet, amaranth, brown rice, corn, all of those. There's so many, dozens and dozens of grains. Like potatoes, 4,000 different varieties from the Incas. Squashes, sweet potatoes, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. By the way, legumes are the #1 superfood of all the longest living groups of people on the face of the planet. Legumes. Where did legumes start? Africa. There are more varieties of legumes in Africa than any place else on the face of the planet. Absolutely amazing. 2,000 varieties of legumes. I had no idea. I had no idea. All plants produce starch. In case you forgot what vegetables look like, I thought I'd show you a picture. So they all, this is where you want to go in the supermarket, and then you want fresh fruit. Fresh fruit, not fruit juices, not processed fruit. You want fresh fruit. A little bit of nuts, seeds, and avocado is healthy too. A little bit. Provided you're not wearing a lot of extra fat. Okay, so so you want to keep it small. So what we say in lifestyle medicine is we want whole foods, not processed foods, and we want plant foods, not animal foods, and this is a fiber-fueled approach. Lots of fiber, that's what we do. That's what we do. So the benefits of this approach, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't even talk about all of those, so many different benefits, it's incredible. The benefits far outweigh the challenges, far outweigh. It is absolutely a win-win situation for all of us. So again, I'll say this again. The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine, or it's the slowest form of poison. You get to choose.
She did wheatgrass, wasn't Ann Whitmore?
What's that?
A book on wheatgrass? Ann Whitmore?
I think she did write one on that. She's written several books. Yeah. So wheatgrass can be helpful as well as this. So I have a food pyramid. Food that will trigger the sympathetic state. Meat, dairy, eggs, oils, processed foods, refined sugar, deep fried foods, all sodas, legal drugs, alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine. Excitotoxins include MSG and aspartame. Foods that will promote health. Starchy veggies, whole grains, legumes, greens, colorful veggies, fruit. Stay up here. Even if you move a little bit at a time, just make progress. Just make progress. Just make progress, all right? Just make progress. By the way, I'm not the only one saying this, so all of these organizations, including the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, the American Medical Association, American Diabetes Association, all of these organizations say the same thing now. Eat more unrefined plant foods. Eat more unrefined plant foods. Okay, question?
Thank you for saying that. You said unrefined plant foods.
Yes.
Because now the industry is coming out with all kind of, they say vegetarian, but they've got all this other stuff that they're mixing in with it.
So they're actually
So you have to read the labels, read the ingredients carefully.
Got a lot of processed plant foods. Right?
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, the Beyond Burger's got a lot of oil in it and a lot of other junk in it, so you want to stay away from those kinds of things. Yeah. Jetta.
I follow the whole foods diet, and the one thing I gotta stress is you gotta learn how to recook. So you gotta look for recipes to make it interesting. Because you could go to Forks Over Knives, they have recipes and they have a course, a beginning course, but Forks Over Knives. But there's other ones. Look over Whole Foods, plant-based diets, and get recipes. Because you're not gonna be happy with just eating those. You can make it very exciting. They got some great ways to make it. They have a way to make carrots taste like a frankfurter. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like that just gives you an idea. It's all these great recipes, which you need to redo everything again.
Absolutely. So if you fill out your yellow card, I'm going to send you an email with at least 3,000 recipes. 3,000 recipes. Will that be enough to get you started?
I think so.
Okay, let's hope so.
Add to our library. The ones in here.
They're all online and they're all for free. All online and all for free. Such a deal. Such a deal. Because why? I want you all to be happy. Okay? I want you all to be happy. Really. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy.
And that's what we're about.
That's you want to be healthy and you want to be happy. All right? You don't want to be healthy and miserable. That doesn't go well. No, we want to be healthy and happy. There's a distinction between being pleasure and happiness. Yes, question.
I just have to listen here. Doc Wallace. Have you know why because he's got the sugar, oil, salt thing, SOS.
Yes, right.
But he does eat lots of eggs and fish. Do you know the rationale? You're familiar with him?
No, I'm not familiar with him.
Longevity. They have him on a lot of radio shows.
Oh, well.
He owns longevity products and
Okay.
the 92 essential minerals and all
A
that.
lot of people say nonsense. There's a guy saying don't eat beans. He's real nuts.
Yeah.
So don't listen to everything.
No, he doesn't. He is for the beans.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
I'm saying don't
there-
listen to everything.
Oh no, I trust me. I wasn't sure of his rationale.
Well, here's the thing. I have seen hundreds of different approaches to dietary plans. Okay, I've seen hundreds of them over the years. I've been studying this for over 40 years. I've seen all kinds of gimmicks. I've seen all kinds of different approaches. And it's not about the validity of the approach. It's about how well it's marketed. Now, here's the thing Dr. John McDougall said a long time ago, and it makes so much sense. People love to hear good news about their bad habits.
Oh, wow.
I was wondering if, because McDougall, this is more in line with what McDougall.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my teachers. So
Oh, okay.
One of my favorites is
Yeah,
Dr.
I
John
know about
McDougall.
Okay.
Dr. McDougall is a part of lifestyle medicine. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Dean Ornish, Dr. Neil Barnard,
Okay.
Dr. Neil Barnard,
Michael Greger.
Dr. Michael Greger, and a whole host of others.
Yeah.
Okay, they're all part of lifestyle medicine. So it's evidence-based on extensive research. Now there are people that come up with their ideas and they're very persuasive, don't get me wrong. I've read through a lot of their stuff.
Are
And
there
they-
any African doctors in?
Oh yeah! That's why I want you to check out Dr. Milton Mills.
Oh.
Okay, he's one of my
Milton
friends.
Mills.
Okay, Dr. Milton Mills, African American. He's a doctor, and he was on The Game Changers. He's been on several documentaries. I want you to watch a documentary.
I've never seen that. That's a documentary?
Yeah, the Game Changers. I want you all to watch. There's a powerful documentary came out just this last year. It's called "They're Trying to Kill Us."
Is it on Netflix?
Go to their website, support their cause. It's an African American generated documentary. Chris Paul, the basketball player for the Phoenix Suns, is the executive director of the team. Chris Paul is he's also plant-based. I want you to watch. There's Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Okay, and the list is growing.
Yeah, they're taking better care of themselves.
Yeah, they are. It's amazing. Chris Paul's 37 years old and playing in the playoffs. So that's the thing.
How old?
37.
37.
Okay. Okay.
So here's the thing. Watch this. Go to theretryingtokillus.com.
Okay.
Go to their website. Support their cause. I bought a lifetime membership for them.
Yeah,
I just want to support this. It's awesome. But it's got incredible professional athletes, black, hip hop artists. It's got directors. It's African American developed by the African American leaders in this. So it's really awesome. So check that out. It's fantastic. Yes, Jeff.
I just want to say quick, you gotta be, one thing who you listen to, because a lot of people just make up things. But the plant-based, they follow, it's Michael Gregory, he gives actual scientific, they've done studies. So it goes by studies. It shows studies have prevented a lot of illness with this kind of diet. And that's not just, it's actual studies they've done on people. That's what you gotta go by, not just people just making it up.
Yeah.
Have they did studies with this diet versus COVID? Because there was a lot of fear in the study that people that eat healthy didn't get the COVID because there's so much fear around it. People eat healthy. I mean,
I'll answer this question, then I'm going to keep going.
Oh, I thought you were done.
I'm trying to get done.
But we're enjoying it.
I know, it's fine. I'll stay as long as you want me.
Okay.
So the thing is,
We know all the questions.
so the British Medical Journal published a study with looking at healthcare workers in 6 countries in relationship to COVID and their diets. Here's what they showed. 6 countries, healthcare workers, and I think it was 18,000 healthcare workers, so it was a significant population. The healthcare workers with a plant-based or plant-predominant diet, 76% less likelihood of contracting COVID or having complications. The healthcare workers on the ketogenic diet, a 400% increased likelihood of contracting COVID and complications. Does diet make a difference?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And there's this was phenomenal research. There's more. But I thought I'd just
said
give you
British research?
British Medical Journal. British Medical Journal. Go to my website. By the way, if you go to my website, coachruben.com, and you click on videos at the top tab, that'll send you right to my YouTube channel. And I've got over 22-hour webinars, including beating COVID-19. I've got all kinds of things on it. So I've got Alzheimer's and heart disease and diabetes, all kinds of things.
Well, I'm glad because I went and the video I saw of you was so old. I mean, it was really old. And it didn't come up when I came. So now I got to go to your website to get the direct. I searched you on YouTube, and it didn't really come up.
Yeah, did you search Coach Ruben or did you search
I searched Coach
That's the
Ruben.
old channel. So search Ruben Guzman.
Okay.
And actually, just go to my website.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
CoachRuben.com is the website. There's a tab that says videos up at the top. Click, send you right to my YouTube.
Okay, that's what I want.
My current YouTube channel.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get happy. Real quick, there's a difference between pleasure and happiness. When we're in the sympathetic state, we seek pleasure. Salt, sugar, fat. Conserve energy. We avoid pain and seek pleasure. That's what we do. Happiness requires consistency of effort. It may require some pain initially and some sacrifice, but it leads to liberation, as the Dalai Lama said, and eventually no suffering. And it incorporates all of the brain. That's what we want. Now here's the problem. Our culture that we live in today, we've got so many people caught up in what's called the pleasure trap. Okay, the pleasure trap. My friend Dr. Doug Lyle has a book called The Pleasure Trap, and it's powerful to get how we've been operating the world that we live in. We live in an ocean of sharks. Okay, we live in an ocean of sharks, and here's what happens. Male shark is going around thinking sex, food, sex, food, sex, food, sex, food. Female shark is swimming around thinking food, sex, food, sex, food, sex, food, sex. And now what happens? They're all in the state of stress, right? They're all in the state of survival. And then they get together and they think, oh my God, we're looking for the same things. It must be true love. That's That's what all the drama TV shows are about, all the romantic comedies are all about, all of that on TV is all about this. The state of survival is the pleasure trap.
Right.
And it's easy for us as human beings to get caught up in it. So we have a dysfunctional paradigm. We think that accomplishment is the same as success. Having more, doing more, having more to show for yourself. The cars, the money, the clothes. That means success. It does not. There's a difference between accomplishment and success. One of my favorite teachers is Coach John Wooden. Now, if you know basketball, you know that name. He coached the UCLA Bruins to a whopping how many championships? 10 national championships.
Wow.
He coached more players that became NBA professionals than any other coach, including still the all-time greatest of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay? Who happens to be by the way, if you don't know, he's a phenomenal writer. Kareem is a phenomenal writer. You read his stuff, I love his writing, it's great. So Coach Wooden realized that there's a difference between accomplishment and success. They're not the same. So he distinguished that. Accomplishment is winning the prize, winning the race, accomplishing the goal. And it's just temporary. There's nothing bad or wrong with it, but it's not the same as success. He defines success as peace of mind that's attained only through the self-satisfaction and knowing that you've made the effort to do the best of what you're capable of. That's profound. That is profound. This is what he taught his players about success. He never focused on the scoreboard. He focused on them being the best that they were capable of being. I add 2 words right now because it's a moment-by-moment experience. Success is a moment-by-moment experience. Are you doing your best to be the best that you're capable of right now? Then you're a success. You're a success. I've coached athletes for over 45 years. And I never had my athletes measure their success by what place they came in, or even if they got their best time or not. I measure their success by how well they learned what they learned that I taught them, and how well they executed, and if they had fun or not. That's success. So we need to change our paradigm, and I love what Jim Rohn says. Success is not to be pursued. It is to be attracted by the person you become. This is what it means to really be truly happy. So we have to change the paradigm. So many people have this idea that hard work will lead to success and then you'll be happy.
That's so not right.
That's so not true. So what we show in the research, and we've seen the research, that the actual way it works is that you choose to be happy first and foremost. To be the best that you're capable of right now. And you live into your passion. And you keep focusing on your passion. And you stay focused on your passion. And eventually you will be successful in the true meaning of the word success. Not accomplishment, but success. You're fulfilled in every which way. Happiness, therefore, is a choice. It's not an outcome. It's a choice. It's not a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy of your own accord. No person on the face of the planet can make you happy. No, unless you decide to be happy for yourself.
But we grow up thinking such things.
Oh, we do. Because we've been
person, place, or thing.
Yeah, we do. See, we bought into all the fairy tales and Disneyland. And all the fairy tales and all those things. That life will be perfect. I'll be happy and live happily ever after. That's a lie. That's a lie. So your happiness will not come to you from outside of you. No, it can only come from within. So I teach all my clients a very powerful affirmation statement. I choose to be happy. It's a choice. It's a choice. So Ray Chambers was very accomplished on Wall Street, but was miserable. He had all the cars, the beautiful homes, all the money, everything. He had all of that, but he was miserable. He wasn't satisfied. So he left. And he went to India and studied in an ashram for over a year. And then he came back to start coaching executives on the Fortune 500 in Wall Street. So there's this interview that one of his students, Jeff Weiner, who's the CEO of LinkedIn, and Jeff Weiner was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. I'm going to send you the link. It's a fabulous interview. And Jeff Weiner shares what he learned from Ray Chambers, the 5 keys to happiness. Number 1, live in the moment. Lao Tzu said, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. To be happy, live in the moment. Number 2, it's better to be loving than to be right. Let go of the attachment to being right. Number 3, be a spectator to your own thoughts. Always. Especially when you become emotional. Because that is you doing it to yourself. Number 4, be grateful for at least one thing every single day. At least one, you have a blessed life. Every single one of us does. We're all blessed. We are. If you don't believe me, go off to some countries where they are not even close to having what you have. I got lost one time in the hills of Costa Rica, and I saw what some people live like with hardly anything to speak of.
And they're happy.
Some of them.
And they're happy.
That's right.
Like they were happy.
That's right.
Like I met some of these people, and they were truly generous and kind and compassionate and happy people. By the way, there's a documentary called Happy. I'm going to send you the link to that. You got to watch it. It's amazing. And then fifth, help others every chance you get. Be of service. Be of service. By the way, there's this fabulous book. But I'm going to send you the TED Talk by Sean Aker. He is a professor at Harvard. He is hilarious, and he's so brilliant. And he talks about if we practice just these 6 practices, we'll have 37% more success, be 3 times more creative, 19% more accurate, 23% fewer fatigue, 10 times more engaged, and 31% more productive. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah.
I like this.
Yes.
All right, so here are the 6 practices in a nutshell. Number 1, gratitude. There it is again. Be grateful, be grateful, be grateful. Complain about nothing, be grateful. Number 2, focus on one thing that you are particularly grateful for and write about it for just a couple of minutes. Number 3, be sure to do something physical for at least 15 minutes a day. Okay? Number 4, meditate. Be still. At least 2 minutes. Come on now, you can do that for just 2 minutes. All right? Number 5, conscious acts of kindness to somebody else. Think of somebody else. Do something, even if it's to send a text message. Thank you for what you did yesterday. That was absolutely amazing. I think you're just terrific. Do something nice for somebody. Even just saying happy birthday. All right? Be conscious. And then number 6, deepen your social connections. Those are great practices, and the research shows if you practice this just a little bit, it makes your life so much richer.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
Deepening your social connections. Be intentional to spend time with family and friends. Okay, don't say, it's really nice to talk to you. We should get together sometime. And then never follow up. How many people do that, right? Okay, no, say together, it's wonderful to talk to you. I want to see you. I want to set up a time for us to have lunch together. How's next Wednesday look for you? Okay, make it happen. Deepen those social connections. Most of us don't do enough of them. We live in this technological world and we forget to connect. So connect. So, in summary, Lao Tzu said it well. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Whew. Powerful words. And I love what Mahatma Gandhi said. Gandhi was a wise egg too. So he said, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony.
Harmony, yeah.
Okay? Now I expanded on that. So this is from me. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, what you do, who you keep close, and what you eat are in harmony. All right, so I added those 2 more lines in there. Okay, a couple of books that I recommend. Mindset, absolutely phenomenal. It is really the beginning of a healthy life by Dr. Carol Dweck. And I also recommend The Starch Solution from Dr. John McDougall. One of the best books to help you get started on the way to a healthy plant-based diet. It's absolutely fantastic. So these are great books. Don't worry, I'm going to send you all the links and all the information in your email, so you're going to get all this. So we covered a lot today. We talked about amazing practices, being grateful. You've heard that several times today, right? Who's going to take on being grateful? I'm going to take on being grateful. Outstanding. Eliminate complaining. Help others.
That's a big one.
Read and listen to good books. Mindful eating. Surround yourself with positive people and positive energy. Practice yoga and meditation. Improve your nutritional habits. Just make progress. Choose happiness. For all of this, just make progress. Just make progress. You don't have to be perfect. There's no perfection. What's perfect is you make progress. All right, how many of you would like to make the rest of your life the best of your life? All right, good. So, imagine for a moment that you're living your best life. Because Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. So imagine, if you're living your best life, what would that look like for you? Would it be a life that would be filled with energy and activity and amazing vitality like these people here? Would you like to have that kind of energy in your life? Would you like to be able to finish your life like my godmother did, dancing on the beaches, being able to have all this health and energy and fun and vitality? Is that what you want for yourself? I hope so. That's what we want for you in Lifestyle Medicine. We want you to live with optimal vitality for the longest time possible, maybe to 100 or more, and then you die short and sweet in your sleep, and you have a full life.
Right.
You die happy.
Right.
So the question is, where are you now? Are you there yet? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. So if you're not, how will you get from where you are now to where you want to be? You need to have a plan, don't you? You need to have a plan. But question is, do you have a plan that's actually proven to work? That's the question. Most of us do not. I do. I do, and I'm living proof. Because 27 years ago, I was 55 pounds heavier than you see me today. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar. I had issues. The doctor told me I didn't care, I was depressed. 4.5 years earlier, October 9th, 1990, just up the street at Roosevelt Park, I was playing basketball. That was the last day I dunked the basketball. I ruptured my Achilles tendon, snapped it right off. Had emergency surgery the next day. The doctor told me I would never play basketball again. So I became devastated by that. And I did what any hardworking, intelligent, responsible, depressed person does when they are depressed, which is, thank you, you're my friends. Eat and drink. That's what I did. It doesn't matter what your level of intelligence is. When you're depressed, you don't care. I didn't care. And I did that for 4.5 years. I was the assistant administrator at Kaiser Hospital in South Sacramento.
Really?
I had a lot of stress. I did my job well. I took care of everybody. I took care of my family. I took care of everybody else except for one person, me. I would leave the hospital. This is no joke. I would leave the hospital every single day at 5 o'clock I would go upstairs to the gift shop to get my fix for the afternoon. Now, it wasn't an IV injection, it wasn't a shot of heroin, no. But it might as well have been. How many of you have ever been in a hospital gift shop?
Right.
Do they have healthy food to offer you in the hospital gift shop? Isn't that ironic? Okay? Isn't that ironic? So I would stop in to get my fix for the afternoon. It was the large Mountain Dew. I didn't play games. Maximum sugar and caffeine. All right? The package of 6 Oreo cookies. The king-size bag of M&Ms. I went back and forth between peanut and regular. And a 3 Musketeers to top it all off.
King size.
And the big one. The big 3 Musketeers one. Every afternoon. And the rest of my diet was not much better. So no wonder I put on the weight. No wonder I had those issues. And then one day, I'm coaching, it was early 1995, I'm coaching my swimmers on deck at Sierra College. And my friend, an Olympic swimming coach, who knew me well, who had seen me being healthy and fit, don't worry, you're fine. He had seen me being healthy and fit. By the way, I had set a record for master swimming in the 50-yard butterfly before I started gaining my weight. So he saw me out of shape, and he walks up to me and he says, "Getting a little chubby there, Ruben." And he turns and walks away. Oh, I got mad. Oh, I was steaming mad. And I had a buttermilk donut in my hand. And I wanted to throw it at him, but I didn't want to waste the donut. Now, if you're laughing, you're my friend. Because you feel me. Now, I got mad at him. But then I got mad at me. And I realized I had done it to myself. It wasn't mom, it wasn't dad, it wasn't my ex-wife. No, it was me. I am responsible for my life. I am completely responsible for my life. Now that's a daunting thing to say. Because you have no escape hatch. When you say that. So I realized I needed to go back to fundamentals, and I did. So here's what I did. I went back to the fundamentals I knew from being a collegiate athlete, from being somebody who was disciplined. I think we're fine. So it's a 4-point plan, and it works in sports, it works in health, it works in business, it works in everything I know of. Now it's not a shortcut. I'm sorry. I have no secret pills, no secret supplements, I have none of that. It's a 4-point plan, and it takes work. Number 1, we must do the work of rewiring our subconscious mind. As Einstein said, we have to begin from within.
Begin from within.
Reverend Jim said you got to own it and claim it before you can change it. Ooh. No kidding. No kidding. You got to own it. And you got to claim it. And then you can change it. So you have to do the work of rewiring your subconscious mind. Now, I don't know about you, but I never got a course in high school or college on how to successfully rewire your subconscious mind. Did anybody here get that course? I never got that. So I trained in psychology and behavioral sciences and many other personal development and personal growth programs to learn how to do exactly that. So that's what I teach people. I teach people how to rewire their subconscious mind. Yes?
So it's the same, I don't know about approach, but Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza.
Bruce Lipton, yes. Yes.
And Joe Dispenza.
They are part of my teaching panel. Okay? I have many teachers. I have many teachers. They're part of my teaching panel. Okay? They're part of that. Okay? And then, so we start there. That's number 1. Because if we don't change this, the mindset, game is over. How much you know, you can have all the recipes in the world. If you don't change your mindset about applying them, nothing's going to change. Proven strategy, that's evidence-based. Doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So let's not go there. This is what lifestyle medicine provides. Support and accountability. Here's the key. We are not successful as human beings by ourselves. This is why community in this organization is so powerful. Because when you have community, you have support, you have love, you have empowerment, you have all of that. That makes such a difference in being able to help us to succeed. And then still all of that's not enough. We need the fourth piece, and that is a track record of consistency. Because without consistency, we cannot develop the habits that we need to develop. Habits produce results. Habits produce results. You do something one time, that's not going to work. All right, there's no miracle diet. One meal and you're all of a sudden saved and you go to nirvana? No, it doesn't happen. So habits produce results. So this is the 4-point plan. So some of the certain, just real quickly, I do lifestyle medicine consultations with people. I help people to develop a plan for them, a unique plan for them. I then also have a group coaching program. The next program starts in August 6th. I'm so excited because we're going to do the intensive in person for the first time in over 2 years.
Oh.
So it's going to be the intensive 2 weekends in person. So it's awesome. It's a great program. So I'm going to be doing that. I only got 18 spots. It's already 2/3 full. And then just to give you, this is one of my success stories. This is Donna. Donna started working with me. Donna had come into my program. Now, she had already been plant-based at this point for 9 years. She had lost 60 pounds already. She's a retired nurse. And she said, Ruben, I still got issues. I've lost some weight, but I still got atrial fibrillation. I still got high blood pressure, and I'm having difficulty walking. My knees have got issues. Okay? So I said, come into the program, and she did the program 4 times, because I'd say every time you got to take one small thing on and make small adjustments. It's about small changes, not big changes. Small changes that done consistently. 4 programs, she lost 70 pounds. 70 pounds, and looks terrific.
Yeah.
Okay, now, then the pandemic hit. This is January 2020. Pandemic hit. What did she do? She didn't stop. She walked every day during the whole pandemic. So she got her friends together, she went on walks, and they went walking every day. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 miles every single day. Amazing. And then in Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving, she decided to put it to the test. So she did a 10K turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day and did it in 1 hour and 41 minutes at the age of 69. How many 69-year-olds knew that? All right? And then she outdid herself the next month. She accomplished at the age of 69 her first marathon. She completed the California International Marathon in December, 26.2 miles.
Wow.
Amazing. So that's what's possible. And then I also do my programs for organizations in the workplace because it makes a difference there. And this is my contact information. You can get all of this, but I just want to finish with this quote. I love this quote from Hunter S. Thompson. Life is not a journey to the grave with the intention to arrive safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skin in broadside, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride. That's how I'm going to go out. I hope you do too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so make sure you fill out your yellow cards, and then I also got flyers. You can take as many as you want. Share some with your friends. Here's my request. My request is this. Freely share all this information with your friends and family members. You may save several lives. No kidding.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Several lives. I've had that happen. I had one person came to a live seminar, share the information with her husband who didn't attend. He completely reversed his diabetes. I never saw him until 6 months later. He said, and he came up to me and shook my hand and said, you've never met me before, but my wife shared your information. I lost 35 pounds. I'm off of all medications. So you never know. You never know the difference you can make. So that is my only one request. Okay? Thank you, thank you.
And we will share the information. Oh, you were great. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Oh, that was so helpful.
Thank
But
you
you
so
know,
much.
I tell you, this is a journey. We've had many health seminars, and we always walk away with new information. something new. And I just really love the mind, body, and spirit that you covered and show that it's all connected. And I got a whole lot of notes. I got a lot of documentaries.
Yeah.
I got books to get,
Right.
to order. Thank you so much. You were wonderful, wonderful.
Beautiful.
And we'll be there Tuesday night.
Okay, good.
Right.
On Tuesday night. Awesome.
Yeah, Tuesday
Awesome.
night at 6 p.m.
Yes, that's good.
Right. 'Cause
Tuesday
it's
night,
good to-
Rancho Cordova.
Rancho Cordova. Yes, on Coloma.
Yes.
Okay.